Say, man, I want to welcome you to the Crunkest Show in social media history. It's the War Zone. I got my man Donovan Sadiq in the building, the Queen Demetra K, and I am the five-star general. We navigating this blackout. So y'all bear with us. And I'm gonna turn this over to Donovan so that we can get into it. What's going on, my friend?
Oh my gosh, prayers and thoughts to you people down in the South as you guys are going through this big fiasco. I would call it fiasco as in leadership and as the infrastructure that should be up to date in a modern city that has all the natural resources and is the energy capital of the United States. But real quick, in the news today, it has come out by Steve Bannon, who was an advisor of former President Trump. Steve Bannon is alleging that Donald Trump had dementia the whole time he was president of the United States. My question is, okay, well, what's new? What's the news? I mean, it was obvious this man was on some other stuff. So that's a question that we got to deal with there. Also, Nancy Pelosi wants to waste hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars in doing a study or a research a 9/11 type commission to figure out what happened at the Capitol, which we already saw what happened at the Capitol. So more of your tax dollars going to waste, more of a distraction going so that you guys could continually look over here while they're doing shit over here. It's a continual shell game that we keep pointing out to you guys. It didn't matter if Donald Trump, we knew he wasn't going to be impeached, all this other stuff, but you got people just woo, and yet the American people job is not getting done. Also, you have two Democrats, one being Joe Manchin, is still holding up the bill that Biden wants to put to give us relief, the relief bill to help all these Americans. Now, to all you people out there, all you Negroes out there that keep talking about, well, we just ain't got the numbers. You know, y'all don't know politics. You got to be in the majority. See, that's how you gonna get stuff done. You got to get people elected and get in the majority. Please explain to me how Joe Manchin, one man, and they say there's another Democrat, two people could uphold the progress of the United States. Two people. Demetra?
So hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night edition of the War Zone. If you could do us a favor, if you haven't already, please share the live so everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation, as we are going to do a continuation of what we did last night in regards to the Texas shitstorm, if you will. Okay, all the things that's going on with the freezing rain, the snow, the blackouts, just everything you can think of. The deaths now, there's been plenty of deaths and people going to the hospital due to trying to stay warm in this freezing weather. It was 10 degrees where I am last night, and it was even colder in a lot of other places, below zero in some places. In Texas, and where people had no electricity. Right now, I don't have any running water. I have, so, you know, what did Gary say yesterday? We don't have two of the same things that match. So anyway, you guys, we're going to get into it. Gary, what say you?
Man, it's been a hell of a 24 hours, man. I ran into some good older people today who don't have a car. The temperature inside of their house was 12 degrees. They were actually hanging out outside because it was warmer outside than it was in their house. I met an Asian guy. He has no family here, but he has 3 cats. So him and the 3 cats are going to sleep in the car tonight. Who is to blame for this? I think that's what our focus needs to be tonight, because it's like everybody wants to pass the buck on their favorite politician, and they want to cover for their favorite politician. And that doesn't work for me. Not, I mean, it disturbed me so much, especially with the older people. Just good old people, man. You know, they like, we don't have a car, you know, nothing. You see what I'm saying? And to not get realistic answers from the leadership of the state of Texas, from the leadership of Harris County, from the leadership of the city of Houston is just downright unacceptable. Now, if you notice something tonight, I think the whole time I've been talking, I've not used a curse word because I need y'all to hear me tonight. I need you to hear me, and I need you ragged ass politicians out there to hear me. Y'all are to blame. Let's start with the mayor. Well, no, he's not to blame. It's not the mayor's fault. Well, you remember back in 2011 when they didn't want to follow federal guidelines and Texas wanted to be on its own? What position did your mayor hold? He was a Texas state legislator who voted on this stuff. So who you saying not to blame? Who you saying not to blame? See, what I don't get, Demetria and Donovan, and maybe you can help me with this. These people want to be politicians. And as soon as something happens, it's not my fault. You wanted the job. So if you wanted the job, you got to do every aspect of the job. You need to come up with some viable answers. So my first question would be not to the governor of Texas, but to the mayor of the city of Houston. When you were a Texas legislator, why did y'all put us in this position? You along with your little friends. And back then when you were a legislator, the Harris County Commissioner, Rodney Ellis was a legislator. So why the fuck did y'all put us in this position? Y'all the cheapest son of a bitches in the world. You're always trying to cut a corner to save money to put in y'all pockets. And now this stuff is really messed up, man. People are dying, carbon monoxide poisoning, trying to keep their houses warm. Folks' houses are being torn up because the pipes are bursting. And the reason that the guy got to sleep in the car with the cats, his 3 cats, is because his sprinkler system came on mysteriously. So he got water everywhere in his house. I'm sitting there like, I'm a fixer, but goddamn, I'm sick and I can't help. But you people, the ones of y'all that's covering for these politicians, y'all really need to shut the fuck up, man. Because these people, along with your gang member, the Crip up there in Austin in the wheelchair, his sidekick, the lieutenant governor, all of y'all need to come out of office, man. That's how I feel. All of y'all need to come out of office, man.
Dimitri, go ahead.
Yeah, and Aisha, my water is off as well, so it's been off a couple hours, I would say. So I don't know when the water will come on, but it's just another thing to add to the other things, right? It's crazy. So anyway, Mayor Turner put out a tweet yesterday. He actually put out a couple tweets, so I'll read them and we'll address them as we go. But this one says, the city does not control the Texas power grid. We do not oversee ERCOT, which manages and serves as a traffic cop for the electric grid. That is the governor and the state of Texas. I know people are angry and frustrated, so am I.
Say, man, let me tell you something. This man not frustrated. This man is a narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's not frustrated. Who's impacted the most? Of course, everybody in the county is impacted. But when I ride through my neighborhood, I see people that look like my mayor. I see people that voted for my mayor. And you don't have no answers for them. I don't care at this point. Let me tell you how people feel. We don't give a damn about y'all putting out these letters. You know, you putting out these memorandums. We don't give a damn who fault it is. Fix it. Fix it and fix it fast. People are in danger. I'm looking at a story earlier. I told you the jackals was gonna get loose last night. Robbed a cell phone store, stole every phone in the store. You think this is gonna go on for 3 or 4 more days and this city not gonna go to hell? Man, I don't care who fault it is. You need to get on your job. You wanted to be the mayor, you know, to the tune that you done did everything under the sun to become that. Well, step up and put your big boy boxers on, partner. But on some days, you might have to put your big girl panties on. Yeah, I'm on your ass tonight, Mr. Mayor.
My question is this: as a taxpayer, they take all of this money out of our checks. They take all of this money and assess us property tax. And you mean to tell me that this is the best that they can do in regards to the infrastructure of the 4th largest city in the United States? I mean, I would be up in arms about that. Number one, other than, you guys need relief right now. But at the end of the day, when all this is passed and everything gets back to semi-normal, the question needs to be asked is, what the hell are they doing with all of this money? Not that I just named taxes and stuff that you guys pay on a daily basis. What about all this federal aid and all the construction? I mean, it took over 20 years of construction down there in Houston, going through, in the 80s, we used to drive through there and it was always construction going on. You have all these things happening. And that's when, if this is the best they can do with all the money that they're taking from you guys and from us, don't take nothing out of my check and let us, do it for ourselves. But also another question is, this is another example of the shell game that is played on the national level, and it is politics 101 by politicians. You take the shell and you just keep moving it, and you think that that this is the answer, and it's not. And they say, look, it's the Republican. Look, it's the Democrats. Oh no, it's the municipalities. Oh no, it's this, it's that. When are we going to have enough of this? Because this is ridiculous to pay as much as I'm in California, to pay as much as we pay, and that's the best that you're going to do for us? Oh, hell to the no.
This should be a no-brainer when Greg Abbott comes up for re-election. The governor of Texas, the lieutenant governor of Texas. This should be a no-brainer at the midterms when legislators come up. See, but let me tell you what we're going to do. I need y'all, and excuse my French, Dimitri, and I'm going to give it to you. I need y'all to shut the fuck up for one reason. Because you're going to go right back and vote these sorry motherfuckers in again. That's how I feel. You see how we deal with this. Every time there's a natural disaster in Houston, oh, well, nobody knew it was coming. You a goddamn lie. Y'all had this discussion in 2011. 2011, you knew. They gave you warning. See, but you so greedy for fucking money, you didn't want to follow the federal guidelines. I said it last night. You didn't want to be regulated. No, you didn't want to do that. So now, 10 years later, look at where we are. You played us the same way they played the city of New Orleans when they knew they were sitting in a bowl when they blew them levees. You played us the same way. But you Negroes, and I'm talking to y'all, I ain't talking to the good whites and Latinos. You Negroes gonna go right back and vote for these bastards again. Dimitri.
Hello, Anthony Brown from YouTube. How are you doing? Say declare a, oops, your comment escapes me. Hold on a second. Declare a state of emergency and open up every public center in the city. People need help and are dying. They can get the federal government to reimburse the city. And so I wanted to kind of piggyback that off of a tweet. But first, I want to say, so people are dying. I heard of a story of a lady, a family. She, I guess they had the car in the garage and I don't know if they had it cracked or whatever, but you know, they were trying to keep warm and they were taking turns taking warm, getting warm. And she was talking to a relative or a friend in Colorado, and the friend noticed that she was going in and out of speaking, and you know, eventually she couldn't get her anymore, so she called the police. Police showed up, and she had already died. And then they went into the house where the daughter, the 8-year-old daughter, had died from the exhaust from the pipe, and then the son and the father were taken to the hospital due to, you know, them being injured, if you will, by the carbon monoxide, I guess it is. But I want you guys to respond to this tweet. It says, this is Sylvester Turner as well. Our shelter at GRBCC is at capacity. I would like to thank Lakewood Church for rising to the occasion, along with GF Today and Mattress Mac for opening their doors. And we are working to transport individuals to these, it says, occasions. So to your point, Anthony, I guess they're trying to get people some warmth and somewhere where they can get some relief from the cold. But I did see Mattress Mac. He has opened up, I guess, a couple of his warehouses, and he has food and blankets and mattresses and couches and stuff for people to sleep on. So, Gary?
You know, Mac always do that when something happens. I mean, the man sells furniture and will open up his building to us every single time. I want to know why all these motherfucking churches ain't open. I passed by a mega church today. Why the fuck them churches ain't open? Oh, y'all have made enough money off the PPE, off the masses and giving that shit away, off the vaccine, so now you ain't gonna open the church? Matter of fact, won't you go downtown and open up all the motherfucking office buildings you had lit up last night? Motherfucker around here ain't got no goddamn lights, but you got the whole motherfucking skyline lit up in the city of Houston. But Dallas didn't do that.
Hold on a second. I got something for you, okay? Sylvester Turner also says, I have asked at downtown Houston management district buildings that are not being occupied to please cut off their lights and conserve energy. We cannot cut all power off, as individuals are staying in hotels and about 800 people are staying in whatever the GRBCC is. Our goal is to restore power. So I guess maybe he heard the criticism, because I did see a picture of everything else was dark around downtown, but downtown, it was just completely lit up. It's like, well, damn, they got some power? How?
You know why people love us, love this show? Because we keep it 100. I don't think you need to ask them to do a motherfucking thing. You didn't ask us to cut our motherfucking lights off. Cut them motherfuckers off. That's all it boiled down to. All that fucking placating. Open that goddamn drop top stadium you got downtown. The Toyota Center lit up. That bitch can hold 17,000. Reliance Stadium can hold 65,000. Say, man, you fucking around and you bullshitting as usual, you black sorry motherfucker.
Oh my goodness, yes. And you know, it's kind of funny because I was talking to a friend of mine who's out visiting with me here, and she's from Louisiana too. You know, my mom's in Louisiana, so we got to check on our loved ones back there and doing all that, right? And you know, she was saying, you know, her mother's like my mom, is older and stuff like that, and she's, you know, by herself. And I just want to tell you guys, I know y'all love Big Mama and Mama's there, and you can't tell her nothing, but you know, go and check on Big Mama. I know Mama's saying she's fine and everything like that, but you know, you really got to look at it like this. If Mama, I don't care what Mama says, if Mama doesn't want to go, think about this. Now you have to get out of your house to go get Mama to make sure she's taken care of and everything is fine. Blessings that everything is fine with my mom and her mom, but it's just the fact that we as a people have to stop letting Mama, who's 80-something years old or might be a little bit a senior, dictate, well, I'm not going to go, you know, she's stuck in her ways.
Well, let me say this, because I think this is a different situation as far as Mama, Big Mama. Yeah, most of us can't get to Big Mama. Most of us can't even get down the street because there's ice everywhere. Yeah. And we also got to take into account, okay? And I don't think a lot of us are really taking into account that the COVID is still going on. Yeah. So ordinarily, if you wasn't going to see your mama or your big mama because of the COVID ain't going away because, you know, the snow and all of that. The COVID is still there. And so like we can't even get past, a drive a mile because it was yesterday anyway. It was slippery, it was icy, it was really dangerous. And so, unfortunately, mama, I don't know. So it's dangerous for everybody at this point. So you go to mama's house, mama to get her, then you have to risk coming back and not getting. Yeah. And then tonight we're gonna have freezing rain. It's gonna be freezing rain, so it's gonna be worse. So like, what do you do at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was going with that. We should be better prepared if mama does not want to go. We should have set everything up if we could to make sure she is in a comfortable position, or it doesn't even have to. We don't even have to wait for a cold day. We should be looking at it and saying, okay, if anything, the worst case scenario ever happens, we shouldn't wait to the last minute to make sure mama's going to be okay.
I mean, right now the loss of human life is serious. Yesterday I forgot what time it was, but I'm looking at stats and I'm looking at 584 accidents. I was looking at this yesterday. 584 accidents. We can't move around. It's hard to do anything. A lot of people don't know how to drive this stuff, man. And I give you a couple of pointers on the real, man, that, when you're on the freeway, anytime that freeway raises up and you going over, like you going up a hill on the freeway, you got to slow it down, pimp. Because for some reason that condensation gonna freeze up right there. If you say, well, I ain't gonna ride the freeway, I'm gonna stay on the feeder. So anytime you on the feeder and you notice when you pass an overpass that's on the side of you, it's a lot of ice on the ground. That's because that water's coming off that freeway. You gotta be careful, man. But if you can't move, you can't move. I'm just so sick of the lies, so sick of everybody passing the damn buck. You can't get a legitimate answer from none of these imbeciles. And it's just at a point that, what the hell are you people sitting in office for? We know. I'm gonna say this here. Money come with the game y'all play, which is called politics. I really don't give a damn how much money you make. I don't give a damn how much you get up under the table, but you are required to take care of the people. So as long as you taking care of the people, man, knock off your change, man. I don't give a fuck. But where y'all at right now with the way y'all doing this thing, and you can only fit 800 people in the Georgia, you're a lying motherfucker. You fit thousands in there when you're doing your bullshit ass conventions. You fit thousands of them in there. What about old Kirby John's spot over there off of South Main? You charge HISD $800,000 to use it. You do your big ass personal development shit over there. All these churches need to be open right now. Y'all ain't gotta open them. You ain't gotta open them. You gonna have a new member on Sunday. Fuck around and play with it. Because it's sickening how y'all use us to make money. Everything y'all do, you use us to make money. But when it's time to step up for the people and represent the people to the fullest capacity, you motherfuckers drop the ball every single time.
And let's see here. L. White, how are you? You says, downtown cut the Skyline power off tonight after the backlash. It's like, but like Gary said, like, why did you need backlash? Don't you think that was a little tone deaf? You got all these people without power. They're not without power in the springtime, or the beginning of summer where it's tolerable. They're out without power where it's bone-chilling cold, where it says that it only takes a couple of minutes for hypothermia and frostbite to set in. And so again, we heard of people dying and, putting barbecue pits. I was watching the news earlier and they said they had to beg a man not to bring a barbecue pit into his house to warm it up. And yeah, rightfully, it's like, okay, barbecue pits belong outside, but you're trying to speak rationally to a person who's in an irrational situation. It is irrational for a person to be inside the confines of their home and it be colder than it is outside. And I don't know if you guys have stepped outside where it's super cold. So imagine what it feels like inside. You can't run your fireplace because Maybe you don't have any more firewood. They said most people, their generators are not working because they don't have the gas, because a lot of the gas stations are either not open or they're out of gas. A lot of, people are running out of food. And so you're asking people to be rational. But it's like, what's rational about, freezing and then your loved one's freezing, and maybe you're hungry at this point. A lot of people, unfortunately, did not prepare. But one thing I will say this is I have a Muslim daddy, and my daddy, as long as I can remember, says store your food and your water. Store, because you never know. My dad's been calling me all day, and he just called me before I got on here. He says, how's everything doing, daughter? I said, everything's good. I don't have any water. He says, you've been storing your water? I said, yes, daddy, I've been storing my water. So that's not an admonishment to anybody, but, we just didn't think it was going to be to this level. We thought, okay, maybe you'll get snowed in, but you didn't think your water wouldn't be working, the electricity be out, pipes would be busting in people's houses. People would have to, try to sit in their car and think, okay, I'll crack the window or I'll crack the garage door open a little bit and, let the car run inside the garage. It's just like people aren't thinking rational, because a lot of people don't just have themselves to think about. They have their little babies. They have their grandmamas and, different people that they have to think of, and people are still fighting the COVID on top of that. So it is tone deaf for the city to have to be told to turn their damn lights off.
Right. But but here's the thing, though. When all this is said and done, the bottom line is, do we go back to doing what we've been doing until the next disaster, or do we do something about it by getting these people that have been in office for 30 years and don't give a damn, don't live in the neighborhood, don't live nowhere near the neighborhood? I'm very sure Sheila Jackson Lee kept her ass up in Washington as an excuse, and all these other people down there, they don't experience what you guys are experiencing. They refuse to. So what do we do at this point?
We have to realize where we at, and we're in a bad spot. Sharnika just Booney Flournoy say she's sitting in her car right now. Man, this is, and y'all can't understand, Mr. Politician, why I stay on y'all ass. Why I stay embarrassing y'all. Man, this lady is sitting in her car right now. But that matters to us. That matters to the people watching. But for you suckers out there in charge, that don't matter to y'all. But you gonna still bring your ragged ass through our neighborhood talking about we need to vote for y'all. No, that can't happen no more, bro. Because every time you look up, we dealing with something else. Another disaster. Oh, this never was supposed to happen. Yes, it was supposed to happen. That's why y'all were discussing it in 2011. And you did nothing to prepare for it. Nothing. And now, it ain't my fault. It's the governor's fault. Well, I tell you what, Greg Abbott wasn't the governor in 2011. But I know who was some legislators in 2011. And you the motherfuckers that voted not to do shit about it. You happen to be the mayor of Houston right now, son. Now, I'm not impressed with you, Mr. Mayor. You don't like me and I don't like you. And on a good day, we probably would shake hands and tell each other, fuck you. So on behalf of everybody that ain't got no water, on behalf of everybody that ain't got no goddamn lights, fuck you, Mr. Mayor and the county commissioner, every last one of you motherfuckers that ain't trying to do shit for these people right now.
I have a question. Where are the pastors? Where are the pastors and the pulpit pimps and all these people out there, giving blankets and all this? It's just funny whenever a disaster happens or something that happens that affects the people, these pastors talk about, I'm the shepherd. I'm supposed to take care of the flock. Then something happens, the flock is getting hurt or decimated by the wolves, and you never see the pastors out there. You never see them opening their doors. You never see them doing anything in regards to people who have tithed to that church. Like we say on the show a lot of times, $460 billion has gone through the black church. We're not even talking about the white churches. We're talking about the black churches. And yet $460 billion, and we look at these neighborhoods that these churches occupy, it looks like a war zone. And instead of the pastor being influential like he wants to and knows some of these politicians to make sure that the people are being treated right, he gets his pay cut in his little white envelope. That's what we call payoffs here in California. He gets his white envelope and goes right along with it. When are we going to start holding them accountable?
We don't want to hold them accountable. It's something about us that we just do not, especially when it comes to African American politicians, we do not want to hold them accountable. And yet they get the shit on us every chance that they get. In the city of Houston, black people hurt the most when all this stuff happens. When the floods come, when the hurricanes come. Now we hurting, bruh. And we hurt more than everybody else. It is sad that this goes on. Okay, when the state send them money or the feds send them money, they give the money to their friends. They make sure their friends and their friends' kids get all the money first. The people that apply, I done applied for a lot of shit. I ain't got nothing. Fuck them. I don't want it. I ain't applying for nothing else. Kiss my ass. I don't want it. Because they know, how you disqualify somebody who needs the help, whoever that may be. You just randomly select who you're going to disqualify. But all your friends, they get the help. And you know what's so dirty? Man, I'm talking to somebody the other day. I ain't going to say who. Some of you motherfuckers in charge, y'all getting these gift cards that y'all supposed to be giving out to the community. Yeah, you bitch ass politicians. And y'all even keeping the gift cards. You shady motherfucker. I know what y'all doing, man. Y'all dirty, man.
I'm going to address some of these comments. And Sean Fleeks from YouTube, how are you? You say my classmate's house just burnt down. His 3 kids and wife are out in the cold. They were trying to keep warm. This is crazy. Yeah. Again, like I said, you're asking people to be rational in an irrational situation. You're freezing. You're going to do, there's people, and I'm not faulting them for that, who think, well, we'll be okay if we bring in a barbecue pit for just a little bit, just to knock off the chill. We'll be okay if we sit in the car in the garage for a couple of minutes, just, to warm our bodies up. There's just people who are thinking that. And, unfortunately, we know the story, but, I'm sorry that they lost their house in a fire. I, too, have lost a house in a fire, and it's very devastating. And tonight you say, why are people driving? Well, a lot of people are, this is probably some people, I don't know why everybody's driving, but I know some people are driving because they're looking for food. They're looking for gas. Gary said he saw a line about 3 hours long at Whataburger, and I saw on the news, it said a McDonald's line was, 30, 50 cars deep. People waiting, just to get food because unfortunately they were unprepared. I don't know, maybe a refrigerator. It's been off so long, the food is bad. So there's a whole lot of reasons people are driving, but nobody, wants to risk their life driving on ice. And let's see here. I saw another comment, but I'm going to go to the hotel situation. They said hotels are booked. Now you also think about the hotels that are booked. People are spending money they don't have. People are probably maxing out credit cards. Now, mind you, again, we're in a pandemic where people already was stretched to the max financially. And so now they're probably spending their last or maybe their bill money, to go stay in a hotel to try to just stay warm and have some water.
They ain't spending that $1,400 that bitch supposed to give us.
Right, because it ain't here. But the crazy part about that, Gary, is if they did send that $1,400, especially for Texas, that's where it would be going, right? Opposed to going on their household or something like that. Nobody's going to reimburse them for this bullshit. And I can't remember who it was that said it, but you said the whole state of Texas. And I agree, the whole state is messed up. Like how? I can understand maybe Houston, Dallas, or whatever, but the whole state is just effed up. Like, who gets that wrong, right? And then, like for these churches, why don't they have some sort of an escrow account for the people? You know, an emergency fund, a benevolent fund in case something like this happens, to where if you go to the church and you say, hey, you know what? Our food went bad. You know, we need a place to stay. There'd be some sort of contingency plan to help people. But it seems like, to Donovan's point, they've raised over $500 billion since the 80s. And they're always telling people, well, we can't do it right now. You know, the benevolent fund is a little low, and, come back. Like, well, where's your contingency plan to help the people? You know, I just don't understand how everybody is caught off guard. And especially here in Houston, you have a furniture guy, Mattress Mac, who I know about way from California, is always doing the most to help people. Now, ordinarily, that shouldn't be a furniture dealer's job, but he always steps up to the plate. And so if he can do it, why can't we have the government do it and these big, giant ass churches do it? It just, and I'm going to close with this on my part. This is our fault as individuals because we know these people do that and we keep giving them a pass. You sit your black asses in these churches, and you know your pastor and his committees aren't doing anything for the people. It's all about them. They're supposed to be of service. They're supposed to be of service to the people. It's not supposed to be the other way around. And the same way with the politicians. They are supposed to be of service. But we continue to sit in their churches and we continue to show up to the polls for them and get absolutely nothing, especially us as black people. And then again, we sit here and say, what happened? We happened. Because we keep putting those people in positions of power who do nothing to empower the people. It's got to change.
Say, you were nice. I get it. I think what we need to do is when we get past this and they send you a light bill, tell them we're going to send them a rolling payment. That's what we need to do. Send your bitch ass a rolling payment. Now, as far as these punks in the pulpit, y'all need to open them churches, man. Y'all need to open them motherfucking churches, man. Man, this don't make... You have to be an evil person to be in a position where you can help hundreds and thousands and you don't do it. You're not of God. That's not what... everybody talk about God. That's not what God would do. That's not what God would do. Your God that you worship and you praise, and that's not what God would do. You have babies out there that are freezing in these houses. Man, I'm talking about these people telling me it's 12 degrees in their house. 12. And I'm like, y'all not gonna make it in there. Y'all not gonna make it in there. You punks in the pulpit, and that's what I call y'all. You punks in the pulpit. No. Let me go back. Let me. I'm looking at this comment here. This the good doctor. She says ERCOT. Who sets policy in the state of Texas? Who votes on these policies in the state of Texas? Your legislators, the same ones that we hold in their dicks every day. That we so cool with these motherfuckers. They allowed these people to be in control. And you know the crazy part? 3 of the fucking board members from ERCOT don't even live in the state of Texas. What kind of fuckery y'all got going on, man? Say, man, you can get mad at ERCOT all you want, but it's these motherfuckers we voting in that's fucking us across the board, and we looking for excuses to say, no, it's not their fault. Yes, it is. They allowed this bill, they allowed this policy to get through the goddamn House in Austin. And your mayor was one of those people at the time that did it.
Well, I have another thing that kind of rolls across my mind. And like I said, I don't want anybody to take this out of context. We big up all these HBCUs and all this higher education, and because these HBCU graduates, they get these great jobs, and they talk about all the work that they do in the community. Where are they? Now there's a disaster going on right now, and I know they have families and they have their thing, and I'm not like trying to dump on them. But what I'm saying is what they say doesn't match the rhetoric, because I went to some of these pages, sororities and the fraternities. Oh, we do this in the community. We do that in the community. We do this and that. Now, I'm in the West Coast. HBCUs, that's not a big thing out here. It's not, fraternities are not, they don't do shit out here in the West Coast. But I happen to know in the South and on the East Coast, that's a very big thing. So you supposedly do all this great stuff. Now here's a natural disaster. I hear crickets. I don't hear anything about these HBCUs. And yet Donald Trump gave the HBCUs money for the next 10 years so they don't have to come back to the federal government. And by the way, Joe Biden, I believe, reversed that. Don't quote me on that, but I'll get back to that. He reversed that. That's what I heard. I'll look that up to make sure. So you guys that are, woo, Joe Biden, if he reversed that money the HBCUs got, joke's on you, Jack. But anyway, where are these great Black organizations that do so much in the community? Where are they?
I want to address this comment really quick. Tube Vision. You say that's effed up. You can't survive one day without food, and I'm assuming that's a question. And then you also go on to say you might as well call that fasting. I'm going to say this as nice as I can because I don't want to misread your comment. What if I don't want to go a day without food? That should be my decision. If I don't want to go a day without food, that shouldn't be anybody else's decision by way of them being irresponsible and, not being proactive. That should be my choice if I want to go without food. I don't think we should try to, chalk this up to a fast or, well, maybe, if I want to do that, that's my decision. It's not anyone else's decision.
She might have froze up, Donovan. You still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. Hopefully her power didn't go out again. So,
well, I want to answer your question. Where these HBCUs, motherfuckers don't do shit in the hood like talking about. I'm just telling the real, man. I don't give a damn if y'all get mad at me. Y'all don't really do shit in the hood like talking about. So how the scholarship fund working right now? How does shit work right now? As far as, going a day without eating, it's not the eating, it's the freezing that's the problem. Yeah, these people, hold on a second. These people are freezing to death in their homes. While the motherfuckers that shot calling, you sitting your ass up in a warm building. And it's something about the skyline last night that really pissed me off. You need to talk to them for them to turn the fucking lights off. Bitch, you didn't ask us to turn ours off. Say, man, we need to start holding our money from these people. Stop spending our money with these people, man, and then they'll fix all this shit.
Yeah, and that's the whole key to the thing. I mean, if we would start holding our dollars and start holding our votes and keep these people accountable, maybe something will get done. But, I just have a very sad feeling that once you guys get through all of this stuff, they're going to give you the same rhetoric and you're going to be back in the same position. Because one thing about Americans, and especially Black Americans, we have short ass memories when it comes to shit that is being done to us. They'll trot out a celebrity. They'll trot out their Aunt Maxine with the damn quote. And, why is it that the Black community always has to do the sacrificing for the nation? Well, you know, if those Black folks could sacrifice for us and get us every vote, if y'all would just wait a couple of days. I don't see them asking the white folks to wait a couple of days. Like you said, in those areas, their power is probably on. You know, I just do not understand how much we are going to continue to take before we say enough is enough and we start showing these bastards, and I say bastards, better than telling them, because that's what it's going to take.
No, Dr. Candace Matthews say, let's talk about these pastors. I tell y'all what, any one of y'all want to talk about them, if you're bold enough, let's call these motherfuckers out. If they churches ain't open right now, let's call these motherfuckers out, man. Now, see me, I like being the bad guy. I need some regular people. Let's call these motherfuckers out, man. You can do it in the comments. What mega church you know ain't open right now? Don't nobody give a damn about nobody talking about we passing out meals tomorrow. They can't get to the fucking meals. We giving y'all food. Who gives a fuck? You ain't got no lights. You can't cook it. Y'all want to call these motherfuckers out? Then let's call them out. But you sure you want to do that? You sure you want to do that? Because I know the big hat gang gonna have a problem with you. You know, and if they don't know who the big hat gang is, that's the old lady sit on the front row at the church. When you get to calling out their pastor in their church for what they ain't doing. Well, don't worry about it, because they ain't been doing shit for decades. They ain't been doing shit for the Black community, but siphoning money up out of it. Donovan?
You know, I'm just thinking of the people who have, you know, young children, and you know, once you guys get past all this, but just to think of the stories that these kids are going to be saying as they get older, and the traumatization in their minds, like, oh my gosh, remember when mom and dad, that big storm came and we almost froze to death? What kind of memories is that to give children? You know, here we are paying our money. Even if you're not paying our money because of a pandemic, the federal government is guaranteeing that these companies are going to be paid, and your power and lights are out in the 4th largest city in the United States. And we have the nerve, the freaking nerve, to talk about second and third world countries. I'm going to tell you guys something that I figured out 18 years ago. The United States is a third world country. And if you don't believe me, there was a coup that was just attempted January 6th. That only happens in third world countries. And this is the shit we have to deal with.
Well, the good Dr. Candace Matthews, she said Lakewood is one of them. Well, hold on a second. I'm really not a Joel Osteen fan. But Joel was the first one to open up his church on this shit. No. Hold on, let's push Joel to the back of the line right now. I.V. Hilliard. Bishop Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all gonna open the motherfucking churches, man?
Right.
Joel get a pass on this one. For me, he get a pass. He was the first one to open up his goddamn church. What about these Negro mega pastors?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd call that too. Who bold enough to call that something?
Yep.
You ain't got no problem giving them your fucking money on a Sunday morning, and they ain't got no motherfucking problem taking it.
You know, and the good thing about Joel, and I'm not a Joel Osteen fan or anything, but he learned his lesson from Katrina when he was called out when he didn't open his church during Katrina. Not only did he not open his church, he didn't open his $10 million mansion, but he's a servant of the people. So yeah, I'm with you. He's going to have to go to the back of the line because he learned his lesson. But how can you other pastors who want to be a Joel Osteen not follow suit? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Say, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. They worship these guys, but when the shit really hits the fan, you know, what's the problem? We take a ride down 45. TD Jakes, you got a problem opening up your motherfucking church? Bald head bitch. That's how I feel about it right now. I ain't gonna suck your ass. You got a problem opening up your church for the people? It is what it is. See, me, I ain't got no scared bones in my body. Because I ain't in bed with them. I ain't cool with them. I don't give a fuck about them. I care and work for the people. You know what? When you go and do your history and you research a lot of the stuff that we talking about, especially tonight, you'll see the inconsistencies there. You know, I was looking at, Judas and the Messiah and the comments that were being made. You feel me? You know, you're looking at the guy and you're saying he was a Judas to Fred Hampton. Now, me, I don't have to watch the movie. I think I've said this enough on this show that the Panther I relate to the most was Fred Hampton. I know the story. 123 bullets, partner. That's what what it took. But then when you think about it, we need to worry about these modern day Judases. That's politicians. These are the Judases you need to worry about. Your Judases are these pastors that are not helping the black communities. And you know what's so crazy? You got good, intelligent white people even questioning why we ain't doing shit about it. They trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with y'all. Y'all keep giving these motherfuckers passes. So no, if you upset because I called TD Jakes a bald head bitch, then you just gonna be upset and go get you some motherfucking aspirin or something. Cause that's what I called him, bitch. Open up your church.
It's like we live on a different plane. You know, when it comes to the white man doing something, we're quick to chastise the white man and the boogeyman Trump and all this other stuff. But when it comes to our own, how dare we speak truth to power when it comes to these? I mean, I have never been in a black church that did not say is a leader within the black community. Well, if that's leadership, we all gonna be slaves. If that is leadership, we all gonna be slaves.
I'm back. I don't know how long I'm back, but I'm back. And what really pissed me off is that I lit up all my damn candles, and as soon as I was about to get the other candles, the lights came back on. So I don't know, it's frustrating, but it is what it is, right? So yeah, I don't know what you guys were talking about, but I'm with it, whatever it was.
We're talking about the people. I'm calling out a few of these pastors that ain't opened up the church. And, the good doctor said, well, let's start with Joel Osteen. Now, let's start with these Negro pastors. Let's start with them. See, we can't keep expecting white America to take care of black America. They don't have no obligation to do that for us. We need to put them, put that same heat on our people. On our people. That ain't, I don't go to Joel's church. He ain't never took $1 from me. But some of you niggas have. And you taking money from a whole bunch of people that sit in their house right now, seniors that are freezing to death. But you made sure that they got a ride to the polls to vote for your favorite politician that was going to help you line your goddamn Christian pockets.
Yeah, wait, real quick, Tanaya Smith, I love you, girl. She says, this is not on HBCU. That's on the government of Texas and the federal government, Donovan. That's not what I'm saying. You got these organizations, these black organizations that brag and talk about how they're in the communities and what they do. I don't see it. So here we are dealing within our own community, a disaster. I haven't heard one HBCU talk about what they're doing. And, and I know where you're going with that, and I appreciate it. But all I'm doing is I'm trying to call out, where is this activism that they keep talking about?
They used it all up with souls to the polls. Well, we got a brand new initiative for you. A heater in the house, bitch.
Souls to the polls. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that one, but yeah. souls to the polls, and they were strolling to the polls. But it's like, what did you stroll to the poll and get? Honestly, what did you get? You didn't get a damn thing for, your people at all. You just got another white man in the White House that ain't doing nothing for your black ass. Even to this day, black leaders, misleadership, I should call them, are begging Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to do something. I can't remember what it was. An article I was reading, and two dudes, black dudes, I don't remember their names. But anyway, they're saying that the Biden administration needs to do more to help keep black businesses afloat. Because you guys know about 50% of the black businesses have closed due to the pandemic. And so they're saying you need to do something. It's like, nah, buddy, you should have been asking them to do something before you was, cutting off Ice Cube and everybody else for saying, well, give us a guarantee you're going to do something for us before we give you your vote. Now people are talking about, well, you need to do something. Now it's too late. So you were strolling to the polls, but you didn't get anything. It was just cute. You had your chucks and your pearls and your high heels and your different colors and, all of that. It was cute. It was a fashion show to say, look at me, but you didn't get anything. You didn't secure the bag for your people. And we see that even on a local level. You got people defending and big up in these politicians just, to say they're doing it. But you're not holding them accountable and asking nothing for them for your vote. And so it's everybody's fault. It's, the state, it's the local, and it's our fault that we continue, especially as black people, go through the atrocities that we experience on a regular basis. It's our fault.
Let's talk about accountability, because people we got to hold folks accountable. Okay, now tell me if I get this wrong, Donald. You vote on the local level. The local officials should hold the state officials accountable. The state officials should hold the Senate and the congressman accountable. And they should hold the president and his administration accountable. So you start at the local level with your accountability. And see, that's the problem with us, that we can't seem to get the right people on the local level to be able to have the guts to hold the state officials accountable. This is not a Joe Biden issue. Let me say this again. What's happening down here in Texas is not a Joe Biden and Kamala issue. This is the Texas state legislation. That's their job. And they should call, they in session right now. What the fuck are y'all waiting on? You see what I'm saying? But when Monroe in front of your fucking house at 3 a.m, when he dragging your ass on social media, when he's showing up at your meetings embarrassing you, what's wrong with that Negro? No, this is how you hold him accountable. You hold the local official accountable. He holds the state official accountable. They hold the Senate and the Congress accountable, and the Senate and the Congress holds the presidential administration accountable. But you know what we got? A bunch of goddamn crooks at every level.
And that's the thing. They don't care about the people that actually put them in power. I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe everybody goes in there initially with good intentions, but at the end of the day, it's a step to the next level. Because let's look at the blueprint. Sheila Jackson Lee started her career probably as a city council member or something like that. Then she went to the state assembly and she did that for a while. Then she went to Congress. And if there was a spot that she could win to become a senator, she would run for that. It's all about power. It isn't, especially when, like you said, they don't want to hold anybody accountable. They don't even want to hold themselves accountable. You got a rogue president that they know broke all those laws. And yet they said, yeah, he broke them, but it is what it is. So, I mean, but in regards to my statement with the HBCUs, it goes back to what you and Demetra were saying. I'm not saying that being in an HBCU or a fraternity is a bad thing. What I'm saying is they use that and say, look, we're in the community, we're doing all these great things. It goes back to doing for self. Well, if you went to an HBCU and you're from Morehouse and you're an AKA and you're an Alpha and you're an Omega, whatever else that bullshit is, where are you at right now? I don't see you guys doing anything within the community. Nothing. Zero. And those are facts.
Oh, I don't want to say that the fraternities and sororities don't do anything. They do some things, but I think the problem with that, and this is me personally, I think they're very influential, and that's good. But sometimes they're influential in the wrong way, like with this election shit. That was just doing the most. Okay, yeah, Ricky Smiley, when Kamala Harris first jumped in the ring, you know, he was like, come on, fraternities and, you know, sororities, we got to get together and get her to the White House. But he said all of that before he knew anything about her record. And then when they found out about her record, you guys know that she wasn't successful as a president. You know, the bid for the president, obviously, we know the story now, but, you know, they're very influential. But it's like, what do are you influencing people to get something for all of the service and their votes and all of that? I mean, I don't know. Am I frozen? No? Okay, somebody said I was frozen. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think if you have a platform and you have some influence, you should use it responsibly. Because I always say there's certain people within our community that's messing up the rotation for everybody else. It's the Negroes that are so certain of nothing. You're so certain of getting, you know, Joe Biden in the White House. You just wanted Trump gone. And here it is, you know, over a month after him being elected, he hasn't done anything specifically for Black people. You have all these Negroes that are begging him and Kamala to do something specifically for Black people instead of doing that before, you know, they secured the vote. And, you know, it's just at some point in time, we have to just stop the nonsense.
Right. Real quick, our girl Janelle Dawn says Omega Sci-Fi does a lot. That's not what I'm saying. Again, I don't want you guys to take this out of context. Like I said, when I first started, they do a lot. They say they do a lot. We're in a natural disaster now. What are they doing? Oh, or is it that they just do it when times are good? Oh, let's go to the poll. Let's do this. We're giving out backpacks. We're doing this. That's good and great. That's good and great. But now we are talking about lives are at stake. The community needs help. Where are our fraternities and these people that do so much? I'm not saying, I've never said that they don't do a lot. I'm very sure they do. Where are they right now?
Let me address this really quick. Nicole says, one of our neighbors had to leave their house. They have a newborn little baby. Fingers started to turn blue. They went to a hotel. Hotel lights went out. Baby didn't survive. That is so awful because that baby did not ask for that. The baby's parents did not ask for that. This is a situation that's totally avoidable. Okay. And then I saw Victoria, you say, if the baby's fingers were turning blue, why didn't they go straight to the hospital? Well, I mean, it's easy for us on the other side that doesn't have a baby that's now dead and had their fingers turning blue to ask those questions. We really don't know what was going on in the mind of those people. Maybe they thought, you know, the baby would be okay. But I don't know. I just think it's a little unfair to ask those type of questions. Now, I'm sure, you know, as we know, hindsight is 2020, but you know, just our prayers should be with that family who now has a baby that, you know, that's no longer here due to something that was really avoidable.
And the crazy part is nobody in a position of leadership will bury that child. Will give $1 for that child funeral. We in bad shape, man. The city of Houston is in bad shape, man. And it's supposed to get colder tonight. Say, man, I need y'all to, if you can, let folk in, man. You got some kinfolk or something. Let them in, man. Help them out, bro. You know, it kills me inside. And I'm being honest with y'all. When I got sick, Dr. Muhammad taught me it was okay to cry. He say, because some days you just human. And, you know, just thinking about these seniors, you got to understand, because of these seniors, I don't have to go to a restaurant and get my food at the back door. I got to go to any school I wanted to go to because of these seniors. You know, I could drink water out of any water fountain. So I understand what they did. They didn't have to, and I respect them for that. So anytime that I can go to war to try to help them, that's what I try to do. But to know that it's so many that's hurting right now, and I can't. It bothers me. But it doesn't bother the people who can make shit happen. It doesn't bother the people that can make shit better at the drop of a dime. It doesn't bother them. And that in itself just messes with my spirit. It does something to me. Donovan?
He passed the ball to you, Donovan, but
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, in closing, like I said, it's supposed to be getting colder tonight. And like I said, I really feel for, you guys down there and the family, but I do want to send this warning out. If your infrastructure is failing you in regards to heat and water and all that other stuff, you guys might want to look in the near future at your pipes and stuff, because if you guys might be looking at a potential Flint, Michigan problem, because that was their problem. Their infrastructure was so damn old that when they changed the stuff because of the pollution of the water, it ended up poisoning the people. We know the story. So you guys might need to do a whole overhaul of your infrastructure systems and your grid systems and all that. That's something that I would look at and recommend to do in the near future. But in the meantime, be as safe as you guys possibly can. A lot of you guys have served in the military. Use your military training, use your buddy care, and do the best you can. And hopefully things will start warming up as soon as possible.
Final thoughts, Ms. Demetra?
Yeah, I most definitely, Donovan. I mean, I would just say to those who are listening until this is over, because we still got another day or so of this. We're going to have freezing rain tomorrow. And so it's I don't even know if it will be any much better, but do all you can to survive and be safe about it. I mean, like I said, I get it, trying to just do things that are unconventional, like bringing barbecue pits and getting in the car and all of that. If you got to get in the car, make sure it's outside. As Gary said yesterday, make sure the windows crack just a little bit in case it comes back into the car. If you have a relative, that, can let you in, or you have space for somebody to come over and come in, do that. We all really got to band together until this is over. But, by all means, just stay safe and do your best to stay alive. And that sounds like some shit you hear on the Terminator. The movie The Terminator. Do your best to stay alive and stay safe. I mean, it's like we are really experiencing that, especially here in Texas. And so I don't know, you guys. Well, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just do what you can to stay safe.
2022, Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, we coming to get you, homie. Enough is enough. This is too much. This is just too much. You guys need to, if you can go souls to the poll for the trash that you voted for, you can definitely go souls to the poll to get these two demons out of there that don't give a damn about nobody's life. And when I say that, I want you good white folk to understand me. They don't give a damn about y'all either. They don't care nothing about y'all, man. They don't care nothing. It's time to send, Greg Abbott, to the pastor, and send Dan Patrick with him, because this is going on too long. It's too much. We need to make sure that we look at the local level and take care of the people that ain't taking care of us.
And also how they handled the COVID. I mean, it's just one thing on top of another.
Yeah, I mean it's all messed up right now. And you know, at the end of the day, am I my brother's keeper? You already know it. But sometimes you gotta watch the motherfuckers that's closest to you. So that politician that's taking them pictures, smiling, just go back and look at some of these disasters that we had. Tell him show you some receipts. What did you do during Katrina? What did you do during Harvey? Through the Memorial Day flood? What did you do when it was freezing in the state of Texas? If they have no receipts, then you shouldn't waste your time with them when it's time to go in the voting booth. Because as long as we keep doing that, ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. So I tell you what, man, we the best in the business, minus the music. I had a music back tomorrow, minus the music. And I want to thank my good friend Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetra K. I'm the 5-star general. And I'm gonna tell you something. I mean what I say what I mean. Everything I said tonight, I meant it. Mr. Mayor, this is your city. I keep telling you, you the shepherd. But you only looking after certain members of the flock. The rest of us, we on our own. But I tell you this here, you're gonna be just like the rest of them. When you ain't the mayor no more, Negro, we gonna revoke your hood pass. Until tomorrow night, we gonna holler at y'all, man.